Welcome back. This time we're talking about Ratchet and Clank, the animated film based on the popular game series of the same name, which unfortunately I've never played. But I went into this movie curious. The trailers look pretty funny. I've always heard good things about the games from my friends who had played them. So I went into this one with an open mind, and it's a fun enough movie. It's terribly generic. The animation is passable. It's definitely not a DreamWorks or Pixar quality production here, but it wasn't horrible. I mean, we've had some pretty bad animated films. You got Norman the North bad. You've got the Nut Job bad. No, this is actually I was honestly surprised on how good, not great, but good the animation was here. The story is basically, from what I've been able to read, is sort of a retelling of the original first game, which of course is now being remade into a new game. No coincidence there, I'm sure. But the story basically follows Ratchet, who is this cat-like creature, wombats I believe is what they called him, who is a mechanic and has always dreamed of higher callings, specifically joining this group of quasi-superheroes that protect the galaxy. And he one day comes across this little robot named Clank, that he names Clank, and who has information that this evil person is plotting to destroy this Justice League group. And so they set off, and lo and behold, end up becoming part of this group. And shenanigans ensue. This is a movie that you can tell they were really trying to be more witty than they needed to be. And unfortunately, everyone has that one friend that always tries a little too hard to be funny. That's this movie. It's actually there are a couple moments where it's genuinely funny. There's one gag, and it's sort of a movie. If you're a movie buff, you'll get it. I don't think a lot of people will get it. It has nothing to do with the game. It's a movie thing, and I just couldn't believe that no one's ever done that before, because I laughed. It was hilarious. But more often than not, the comedy was very self-aware. In that, it was making gags at itself, at the genre, at movies in general, and you can get away with that once or twice, but it really became noticeable. The balance wasn't there. As far as the story goes, it's a pretty generic spacefaring action-adventure movie. It really felt like they were trying to make this generic story something more by adding all of this witty humor. And unfortunately, when the humor just doesn't quite work the way they were hoping for, the movie's very noticeably generic. It's not bad. It's, for the most part, it's a fine movie. I'm sure it's going to entertain kids. It will probably entertain fans of the games, because I'm sure they'll get a lot of in-jokes and Easter eggs that I was not going to know anything about. I mean, the one thing I do know about the games is they have a bunch of weird and wacky weapons. I remember seeing the commercials for them back in the day, and they're there throughout, and they have good time with it. Like I said, it's an inoffensive, generic movie. I mentioned that during my review of The Huntsman. That was a movie that was generic and ultimately offensively bad. This is a movie that's completely generic, but it's not. There's nothing I can really point it to as being bad. Of course, like I said, the witty humor tries a little too hard, but beyond that, it's a fun enough movie. If you're looking for something to take your kids to or take the family to, and you've already seen Zootopia, this isn't a bad one to go see. So, if you've played the games and have seen the movie, let me know how close this matches up. Was this horrible as a fan? Was this a great movie because you were a fan? Really would like to know. As always, you can subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other reviews, and until next time, I'll see you at the movies.